28 August 2023 Morning Murli. Om Shanti. BapDada, Madhuban. Sweet children, become victorious by your intellect having faith. Only on the basis of your faith can you become worthy of the kingdom of heaven. The first faith you should have is that God has become the teacher and is teaching you. Question. Although the Father is the Almighty Authority, why does He not do everything through inspiration? Answer. Baba says, I am the ocean of knowledge. I have to come to speak knowledge. If a professor were to sit at home, how would he be able to teach? I have to educate you children and make you worthy and give you the inheritance of heaven. This is why I come and take the support of a body. You children should not have the slightest doubt about this. Song. The rain of knowledge is for those who are with the beloved. Om Shanti. The Father is called the beloved. The Father would not shower rain of water. This is something to be understood. When someone doesn't understand anything, it is said, you have a stone intellect. Now, the Lord of Divinity is very well known. The Lord of Divinity makes you become divine, who makes you into stone. Ravan is called the Lord, who makes you into stone. You belong to the community of Ram. From having stone intellects, you continue to become Lords of Divinity, number-wise. How do the king, queen, and subjects all become those with divine intellects? There must definitely be someone who makes them into those with divine intellects. However, some will go into the Sun dynasty, some into the Moon dynasty, some will become maids and servants, and some will become wealthy subjects. It all depends on your effort. It is surely the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who is called the Lord of Divinity. No human being is called the ocean of knowledge. This praise is only of the incorporeal Father. He is the ocean of knowledge, and He therefore definitely needs a body to speak this knowledge. A soul definitely needs a body in order to perform actions according to the sanskars that he carries. The Father is the incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and He is praised a great deal. The Father of all is incorporeal. He too is just a soul. The soul says through these organs, these are my children. The Father has explained that human beings feed a Brahmin priest. They invite that soul to come into a Brahmin priest and they ask that soul questions. Even if they don't ask questions, they at least feed the Brahmin. When someone's husband has died, his widow would say, I have come to feed the departed soul of my husband. Acha, your husband has died, so whom are you going to call? The soul or the body? It is a matter of having to understand that you would definitely call the soul. The body is no more. They feed the Brahmin priest. That is, the departed soul enters the Brahmin and eats the food. What is the proof that that person's soul comes? He definitely comes. The soul comes and speaks. When you ask that soul where a particular thing has been placed, the soul tells you. Therefore, she definitely believes that she is feeding the soul of her husband and that she is bowing down to her husband. She doesn't see the Brahmin at that time. It is as though she sees the name and form of her husband and bows down to him. That name and form means of the husband has been born, but she still remembers that body. Souls enter Brahmins. It can be felt that another soul has entered. The soul has come, and so they definitely have to have that faith. It has been explained to you, children, that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is incorporeal. He doesn't have a body of his own. So how can he give the inheritance? Surely, this is why he has to take the support of a body. First of all, there definitely has to be the faith that there is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and that he has come to give the inheritance through this one. He would not do that through inspiration. He has to come and teach you. He is the ocean of knowledge. These matters have to be understood. Those who don't have the future elevated reward in their fortune won't be able to understand. The soul says, I am not the ocean of knowledge. That Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul says, I am the ocean of knowledge. But how could I, the incorporeal one, sit up above and teach others through inspiration? Education never takes place in that way. If a professor were to sit at home, would he be able to teach through inspiration? He would definitely have to go to the school. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul too, would not teach you while sitting at home. Pictures can be explained through inspiration. Shivbaba has had these pictures made. He himself then comes and says, I have had these pictures made. This one means Brahma didn't even know this. I had them made by giving divine visions to the children. The Father is Karan Karavanhar. First of all, the Father explains, I am the Father of your souls. How else would you children receive the inheritance? There definitely are temples. There are also temples to that soul. All the rest are temples to living beings, means embodied souls, because living beings come into birth and death, whereas God doesn't. Therefore, he has only been shown as incorporeal. The Father says, I teach you Raj Yoga. This Baba also says, I too am studying. Now, there is no question of inspiration or power in this. If someone says that there is some power, how could he receive the inheritance? That Father says, I teach you Raj Yoga. If God speaks, he surely has to enter a body. It isn't that this one had some power in him. Here, it is a question of studying. I am your Father, and I also have to become your teacher. How could I inspire everyone? I would then have to teach everyone in the same way. However, a kingdom is being established. Some have to become maids and servants, and others have to become subjects. If any of you want to ask, you can ask Baba to what extent you have become worthy and whether you will become part of the sun or moon dynasty or maids and servants. What status would I claim if I were to shed my body at this time? If you come and study with Baba, Baba can tell you that according to how much you study. Would a student in a school ask his teacher, Master Ji, with how many marks will I pass? The master would tell you, approximately. You have not studied fully, and so how can you claim many marks? You can understand for yourselves if you are not truly studying fully. Each one's heart would tell the self. The unlimited Father can also tell you. To some, Baba would say, you are a very good flower. You can come in this number in the rosary of victory, according to the present time. This is because, while moving along, some also fall. Many of Baba's children are no longer here today because they didn't follow Srimad and are now being influenced by lust and body consciousness. Some are influenced by greed or attachment. Maya is such that she even makes you still. Maya makes you do all of that. It is said, One who steals a straw can also steal 100,000. Some have bad habits. Those who have the habit of lust would run away from here. They wouldn't be able to remain here. Some would even steal under the influence of greed. Maya makes them steal. Maya enters them. They don't let go of the first number, body consciousness. Baba says, have the faith that you are a soul. Souls are immortal and bodies are mortal. Become soul conscious. Some become soul conscious in 2 to 3 months, and some don't become that even after 25 years. This one course is very long and it continues for 50 to 60 years. If you don't know the course of the study and the teacher who teaches you, what would you study? By knowing this Baba, you can also know Shivbaba, the one to whom you have to connect your intellects in yoga. We have to become the masters of the world, and it wouldn't be a human being who makes us that. Until you have faith, you haven't understood anything. Even some of those who have been here for 20 to 25 years don't have full faith. They continue to fluctuate. One minute they have faith, and the next minute they have doubt. Baba explains, you speak of God the Father, and so you souls are His children. He is your Father. Everyone should write, yes, He is our one and only God the Father. You received your inheritance of the kingdom of heaven from the Father, and He would therefore have definitely taught you Raj Yoga. Only the Father would teach you that. Until someone has firm faith in the Father, you can understand that that one is not worthy of heaven. They don't know the Father, so how could they receive the inheritance? The Father comes to give the inheritance, but some don't take it because it is not in their fortune. Those whose intellects have faith become victorious, whereas those whose intellects have doubt are led to destruction. First of all, know the Father. The incorporeal Father is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He comes and teaches you. He receives the inheritance from Him. He has to teach you Raj Yoga. There is no question of inspiration in this. It is impossible that a teacher would teach you from his home. Baba says, I come. There is also a temple built to me. The incorporeal one cannot do anything alone, and this is why he has to take a body. Otherwise, how would I teach you this knowledge of the world cycle that I have? I definitely have to enter a body. The number of children continues to grow. They continue to bring others. The sampling of those who belong to the date religion will be planted. The sampling is planted of those who come and become Brahmins. The father of Brahmins is Bramha, and the father of Brahma is shivbaba. So there is the spiritual father and also the physical father. You are the spiritual children of shivbaba, and the Brahma soul is also a child of shivbaba. Then he is also the father of you, physical Brahmins. It is through him that the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris emerge. You are the children of Brahma and the grandchildren of shivbaba. You receive the inheritance from him. Thus too it's something to be understood. If any child asks Baba what status he would claim, Baba would tell him, some bring new ones, don't even ask. Sometimes the arrow strikes the target the first time they meet. Some children write very good letters. Baba, so and so related such good things that I have the firm faith that you have now come. I will definitely claim my full inheritance from you. When children who have never even met Baba write such letters, it is understood that they are long lost and now found children. That one is a good sampling and able to understand quickly. One day, Srinagar center opened. The new children, they wrote letters. Now there is the attraction to meet you. But there are these bondages. They even write their reasons. Only those who belong to the deity religion will come. Only those who are to go to the land of Sri Krishna will come to the land of Brahma. Not the land of Brahma means Brahmapuri. Some people write Brahma Kumari, but that is wrong. Brahma is the element of light. How could there be a Kumari of the element of light? Prajapita Brahma is well known. The father of humanity would exist here. Would he not? The children of Prajapita Brahma, the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris, means the Shaktis of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul Shiv. You receive power from shivbaba, not from the soul of this one, means Brahma. Therefore, you have to remember shivbaba. It is by doing this that we will become pure from impure. At this time, all are sinful souls. Everyone takes birth through vice. Some understand these things very quickly, whereas others don't understand these things at all. This knowledge is so wonderful. God has to come to give you the fruit of your devotion. He teaches you children. He says, I am your father, teacher, and also the Sadguru. I have come to take all of you back home. Therefore, he is also called the liberator. He will not liberate anyone through inspiration. Growth takes place in schools too. However, if you remembered the old world, you would forget the father. By gradually forgetting, you will eventually go back to the old world. Then, nothing of this knowledge will remain. The deal will be cancelled. That's it. They take back whatever they gave to the father. The intellect became completely locked. The father is the intellect of the wise. He explains to you so clearly. You can tell from the eyes and features of those who listen to what extent they are imbibing this and whether they will be able to claim a high status or not. Baba quickly understands whether they will understand or not and whether their intellect's yoga is wandering somewhere. Their pulses are felt. Someone who feels the pulse of others has to be clever. The destination is very high. You will quickly understand whether someone will be able to be uplifted or not. It is number-wise. Although this one means Brahma is the Brahmaputra, means big river. He would not praise himself. Saraswati is also clever. In those studies, the examinations take place here. The examinations of the study will not take place now. Continue to drink the nectar of knowledge for as long as you live. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says, Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, don't be influenced by any old habits and thereby perform wrong actions. Renounce the habit of body consciousness and complete the course of remaining soul conscious. Second point, never fluctuate in your faith for as long as you live. You have to study and teach others. Blessing. May your intellect have faith so that you become carefree and a constantly carefree emperor by having the awareness of Karavanhar, means the one who makes everyone act. Explanation. To have a Brahman life means to be a carefree emperor. Father Brahma became a carefree emperor and always sang the song, I have attained what I wanted. What else remains? Similarly, Any service that remains to be done is also being inspired by Karavanhar, and he will continue to make you to do it. Constantly remain aware that the Father, as Karavanhar, is having everything done through all of you, and you will stay carefree. You have the faith that this task is to happen. It is already accomplished, and this is why your intellect have faith, and you are carefree and free from any worries. Slogan: in order to move away from all your weaknesses, adopt an attitude of unlimited disinterest. Om Shanti.